Hello and welcome to another edition of Exploring with IUX. We educate, explain and excite, and today it will be no different क्योंकि आज हमारा topic is what is full stack developer and what do they do? Yeah, it's थोड़ा सा strange terminology, but we want to know ये क्या है. Without further ado, we're going to be introducing some guests, who are from the full stack profession. So I'm going to be introducing them in a while. Okay, so let me introduce my first guest. Is Hassan Sinain, with Hubble as a software engineer, which is a Pakistani firm, B2B Finto. Please welcome Hassan. Hello, Hassan. Welcome. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you for joining us today. Delighted to have you.
Yes,
Can you hear me? Move on to हमारा अगले मेहमान. It is none other than Ed Khan, who's joining us all the way from Germany. Ahmed is working for Sports Club in Germany. He's done his bachelor's in software engineering from Karachi University, and he started his career as a digital marketer. Soon got bored in the field and switched years of experience of working as a full stack engineer. That is quite an experience. Welcome,
Hey guys.
Ed. Hi. Thank you for joining us all the way from
Yeah.
Okay, great. And last but certainly not least, we would like to welcome engineer and tech enthusiast with 4 years plus experience on different technologies of blockchain programming, web and mobile applications. She's the leader and founder of an emerging tech startup, which I'm honored to work without any constraints of time zone and location. So, Samareen, can you hear me? Hello, Samareen. Samareen, can you hear me? Oh, Ahmed?
You? Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. I think let me see if we can. Joys of technology. Okay, Samareen, I think we're struggling with. If you can hear this, try rejoin.
Hello.
Hi, Samareen.
Hello.
Oh, now you're here. The joys of technology. Okay, so let's go into the first question. What is the full stack dictionary definition of what full stack is?
So basically, a full stack involving all step of development from starting from requirement gathering till the front end, the back end, the basic architecture, and completely. Mhm.
Yeah, sure. It's like kind of doing everything on the start end. But it's more like one focus can be front end or and you can do back end as well. Or you can be a full stack engineer with main focus on back end, but you know how to do a great front end engineering too. But in order, it's like you are doing everything from CI/CD pipeline to managing your server handling to doing a back end to your front end, everything. It's including the work as a full stack engineer. It's not like
So
you should know.
are you often like the front end engineers back end?
Yeah, you can say that like if there's a role which required the front end and full stack engineers specification, like you need to do back end and front end both, and you don't have a much margin of time, then you will going to give that project or that task to a full stack engineer because he can manage everything on our. Because if you are doing in a big team, in a cross-functional team, and you can come up with a task where you are waiting for some back engineer to complete a task in order to do the front end thing, because front end is mostly dependent on the back ends, either with an API or other things. So it's with full stack engineer, you're not dependent on anyone. You can do both tasks. The one person can do the all tasks and he can manage the time accordingly. You don't need to worry for anyone. Like most of the time, front end engineer have done with all the front end thing. He's waiting for the back end engineer to get API or other things. So that's why full stack engineer is kind of a good thing to be. So you can manage anything. If
But
you are
does that make you, okay, controversial, does that make you a jack of all trades and a master of none?
yeah, that's what I was trying to say. That you can do anything you want.
So how would you define submarine? How would you define being a full stack engineer? What does it mean to you? Oh, we lost Submarine. I think Submarine's struggling today. Okay, I think we've touched a little bit on this. What does a full stack developer do exactly? But if you could tell me sort of your day-to-day jobs, roles, what's a typical day look like for you? Hassan.
Okay, so basically it depends on what end I'm starting my day with. So it's usually maybe a front end specific task, so I have to dig into that, and sometimes back end. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, we lost you a little bit there.
Okay, the thing is, it's basically depend on your requirement needs. Like usually I have been part of the product in which did it first and then the front end, or I have also been the part of the product in which both are completely simultaneously. So a type of product and what type of architecture you are following. If there can be a more front end specific or back end specific or simultaneously.
So,
Yes, I can.
what they do.
Then we can say they want to achieve. Like for completing a web application, if we are considering as a web application platform, we need front end development, right? We need skills in the JavaScript frameworks. We can consider it as a front end framework. We need database knowledge, such as MongoDB, MySQL, example, SQL Server, and we also need a command on any specific, or we can say multiple backend frameworks, such as there are many, currently we can say there are many backend frameworks which are popular as well as very strong and performing different various scenarios. Well, for example, we have Node.js, we have Python, which you can see that use enable machine learning, engineering, and as that we need to know all these things. But the thing is, the technology changes after time, and as well because there's never stop learning track for these things. Every year we see new versions coming, new updates are coming in a different framework, especially in JavaScript. We see every year almost we see different frameworks that are coming. So a knowledge of these things are good for keeping the full stack development track.
And is
The challenge for, sorry,
a bit of constantly having to keep up to date with the latest coding. Is that
it's like if you're being a software engineer, it's always a challenge because language, new updates are coming, frameworks, new updates are coming. We need to keep updating yourself. If you don't, there must be security leaks in your code. So if you are being a programmer, you need to keep yourself updated with the new technologies coming up and how things are changing, how codes are evolving around. So you need to keep yourself up. If you don't, might get off very back, like the bad happened with Nokia. You need to keep yourself updated, or you can be a very bad developer. You can find many developers right now who do not get this updated, and they are currently in Visual Basic, which is not a current language right now. Visual Basic is not a current language. Go on this. Keep for
I think
and is that
I think basically things will become more eventually if we keep doing same repeated tasks again and again. So what's the meaning of the program? Because we feel
I'm-
our strength being
absolutely
creative, develop new tools,
I
new
totally agree with
applications. So that keeps us motivated to learn new things and create
And
new
I
products.
also suggest one thing, like don't get only stuck with one language. Always keep updated with your different languages. Like being a programmer is not like that you got keep doing only one language like JavaScript. You keep working with that. You should learn different languages too, like JS, Python, PHP, any other language, because it will help keep update. Your tech is tech, you are keep getting jobs, new different roles, which will help you keep learning and keep getting up to date, which help in the future mostly.
absolutely. And I just want to. So my next question, and it's probably a silly one, but would you say that full stack developers are in demand?
They are absolutely in demand because if we talk about in any kind of application in any field, we need now a web application or kind of mobile application, any technology, we need an interface. We need every data and do specific calls and do the self to complete the words, the digital solutions like e-commerce solutions or different marketplaces coming this up towards the solutions and different systems drastically they just transform their whole architecture towards move towards the solution solution and what they want. Basically, we need that. The user needs to interact something that is a website eventually or a kind of mobile application who will develop this for you. So there's a huge market for web developers, mobile application developers, the backend developers, and of course, a full stack developer. When you use all these things, your market. So, and the thing is, you can work from anywhere. Being a software engineer, you can work good
Absolutely.
this field.
Have you, Hassan, have you noticed that there's been an increased demand in full stack in your?
Yes.
I think we're sorry. We're experiencing a bit of audio problems with you. Ahmed,
Can you hear
Well,
me?
it really is like kind of growing.
we can hear you now.
So basically, I have come across certain scenarios that I have a slightly controversial opinion on this. Basically, uh, it's keep getting was like you have multiple deployments, multiple even testing scenarios are so sometimes it difficult for a full stack developer to just cover all the tasks. But again, full stack development is really
Okay, we've lost
Whether
you.
you don't cover a whole scenario, like for example, if we are working on a small product, a single full stack developer can cover the whole thing. Or if you have a flexible timeline for covering the project to meet the things, you can develop the things and divide it into parts and manage those things. But while we talk about a large complex business application, there are several word developers who are working together, right? So in that case, we basically divide the roles. For example, we divide the front end part to assign to someone who is more creative towards the development, because in front end development there is you know you should be creative in a kind of user experience. You need to know the visualization, perfect visualization. You need to have a good understanding of colors and responsiveness and frameworks. At the same time, you will be managing the APIs and data and the user experiences. There's a lot of things. So, but the knowledge of the backend as well will helps you in that case as well, because you will have the knowledge of how the APIs work. So backend developer in that case as well. So communication and understanding helps you more if you have the knowledge of that framework
Okay.
and do brainstorming on over the things. So
right.
even if the things are
Right.
divided, we can
Right.
it helps us in better understanding.
Ahmed, Ahmed, I
Yeah.
wanted to talk to you.
So I agree with that, but it also depends on how you are following your architecture perspective, how you are doing your coding, and how you're getting your products to development. Like if you are following all the best practice of coding, like writing test cases for every of your backend and writing test cases for each of your front end thing, your code will be very good. Your application will be good. Your product will be working like a fine. It's not like your every test cases is mostly covered in your test cases.
Exactly.
The way you are writing the test cases, the way you are writing your unit test. So your most of the backend and your front end is covered after doing everything. On the test end, when you are doing coding, it's your responsibility to writing
Basically,
each of
developing
unit test cases and everything. Once your business development is on the basis of product, you need to write every of your unit tests.
exactly.
Right.
Basically,
Okay. So
developing a product is not complete rows which helps us to involve and become a great product. For example, we need business developers to understand the client requirements and translate it into the technical requirements. So this thing is very important, where we need project managers to manage the tasks, to do everything. We need advanced test cases for testing. We need DevOps for deployment and other things related to AWS cloud. So we divide, but it comes when you developed a solution on large scale, right? You are developing a solution on a large scale. It's a bit complex. It's a higher scale. So it becomes easy when you divide the task into different people. Like someone is managing the project direction role, someone is managing front end, someone is managing test case, someone is managing back end. So and when it talks about the first development, it becomes like there's a one person who is doing all the things, so it becomes a little heavy to manage all the tasks simultaneously. And because that's all the thing, like it is not necessarily someone is a full stack developer, he should be equal, he or she should be equally good in both stacks, like front end as well as back end. Might be there can be a chance that he is more good, he or she is more good in developing APIs and back end services, and not much creative on the front end side. That's a common thing we faces. So knowledge is good. We can develop applications and do work simultaneously.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to ask Emmett, going back to the wider question about full stack developers in demand. Are you seeing a huge demand you're in Germany right now, and I want to talk to you a little bit about your journey, how you ended up in Germany, but are you seeing in Europe a demand for full stack developers?
Yes, there are a lot of demand for full stack developers here, especially in startups. If you're starting your product, they're mostly demanding the full stack engineers to come there and start their product. And as well as company and product start growing, they will start getting the specific people for backend, for mobile development. That's happening here. Like when you're starting a startup, they will require a full stack engineer because it will be easy for them to start a product. It will be less expensive for them and everything. When their product start growing and customers start coming up, they start doing a specific team for specific, like for Android development, there will be a separate team for mobile development where Android is a separate developer and iOS is a separate developer. Might be there's a React Native developer or Flutter developer. For backend engineer, there will be a different developer, but there will always be a space for a full stack engineer here. Like the company I'm working at, Urban Sports Club, we have a different team for different products. Like they are different separate products, tasks of our products. We have a separate team from that. We have a separate team for our customer sales for mobile app, for portals. We have a different team for everything. Like for everything, we have a backend engineer, but we also have a full stack engineer because there come a time where we need a specification of a full stack engineer to do all the work for front end and back end. So that's happening, but there's a lot of demand for senior full stack engineer or junior full stack engineer here.
And one more thing is that it's not necessary that all cases working on a backend as a stack. Sometimes because there are multiple projects and you have expertise and experience. So it might be case that in one project you are working on a backend and you have juniors as well. You are a senior developer, right? So you are guiding your juniors as well on the developing and understanding. Explaining them the front end technology, like these should be the fields, these should be the fields, the application, the front end, the workflow should work like this, and they develop. So you become you become promoted on a guidance level side, like because you assist those developers to work like you should work like this, you should work like this, and this helps us to keep all the things in one flow.
Exactly.
But you have to start at one end, right? But you have to start either.
It's like either your main focus is on backend, then you go with towards full stack. Either your main focus is the front end, and you can also handle the backend tasks. That's most focus here in full stack. Like you will find job here like front end full stack engineer. They know how to do a backend, but they are requiring a person who knows front end more. Then there's a backend engineer, backend full stack engineer who knows backend a lot, but he can do a full stack as well. So that's how full stack work here. Like you can be a full stack engineer who knows Flutter, React Native, Android, and everything, but they sometimes require a person who knows backend more and can do as well as the tasks related to full stack, or who knows front end most and can do Rust as well as for backend and other things. So that's happened. That's how a full stack engineer usually works. It's not like full stack engineer can be master of the front end, back end both. You cannot do that. You can either a master of back end a lot than as compared to front end, or you can be a front end master as compared to back end. So that's like a middle thing.
Yeah, exactly. Knowledge is different thing, and like expert or become two or more dimensions because they are totally different and they have multiple levels and depth. That's a different thing. You can, but it helps you to develop the application which are less complicated and helps you the developers to become more understanding and communicate with each other, because if you don't know about the front end side, like the developer and how they work on the other side, you will find hard to understand and communicate with each other, that how the things will develop on the other side. So there is a comes the role of full stack developer when you know the knowledge of front end back end both, so you can better communicate and deliver your message and things, and becomes more uniform in that way.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
So, Emma, just tell me a little bit about your story of how you ended up in Germany as a full stack developer. So, you studied at Karachi University. You did computer
Yeah.
science, and then when did you become a full stack developer, and how did you end up in Germany?
So after my graduation, I worked as a community manager at Tech for the cloud-based product, and then I switched towards the full-time development position at Lexan Business Solution as a software engineer. Then I switched towards a startup at Brandverse at Pakistan, which was being held by Raza Mateen, this ex-Googler, Raza Mateen. So I was working at the startup there. And after that, I started my master's, looking for a master program in Germany. I moved here last year in May for my graduation, for my master's program, and then I got a position after 3 months in Germany as a senior full stack engineer. So I moved towards the development position. And now I'm planning to do like my future program is to do either become a product manager. So I'm going to do a certification on product management in Germany.
Okay, and I take it that you are probably being paid quite well in Germany
Yeah,
as a full stack developer.
yes. There's quite a lot of developers companies hiding here, and they are paying very well. They're also hiding from Pakistan. If you get lucky and you know how the paradigms, how the development is working, you know how to write test cases, how to write a good code and everything, you'll probably get a job directly from Germany, from Pakistan to Germany.
So how much is a full stack developer entry level earning in Germany, do you think?
Uh, Depends on your experience. It start from like 55,000 euro yearly. Depends on your experience. Like you can get a blue card here on the 45,000 yearly salary, but because of your experience, it can either
Yeah.
start from 50,000 yearly and goes up to 100K, depending upon your experience. You can earn more than 100K, but you can be either a product manager or project manager, or you need to be on a good 5 companies like Google,
In quite a
Facebook, or
short
Amazon.
time.
Yeah, you can earn up to that, more than 100K.
And Hassan, you're in the local Hassan, you're in the local market. How much? What are the salaries like for full stack developers here?
Basically, I am hired by local market, but I am working with the international clients. Again, there is a exponential difference of salary packages between
The
the
local.
companies that are hired locally and the companies that
But in Pakistan, I know some companies who are like paying you very good, like Tech, or Tech is paying very good to their developers. The way they are earning, they are also paying very good to their developers.
they are earning internationally. That's why they are paying their employees very well. So that's the main difference.
Exactly.
Basically, when it comes to development salary, with the sitting home, where you can do remote work. You can ultimately own your own startup and do different things. So you become unbound with respect to the location and the region. It depends if you provide a quality work and we have a good client. It depends vary to different clients and regions. If someone is from India or Pakistan or Asian countries, it might be a kind of low budget, or sometimes they are willing to pay more higher amount with respect to the US and different countries. So it depends upon them, and we are the demand of that product as well. That if they are working on any kind of product that are more in demand and can generate more revenue, or or maybe they can have a complexity of money. Uh,
The best option to earn extra money.
Right.
In
yeah,
companies,
right now, okay,
Courses and certifications and
Usually, while doing certifications or while following courses, you end up building real projects and not actually working back and some stuff like that. But you have to add certifications and courses to your I would say if you're applying that certificate
what about courses and
so we start with college and certification. See, there's a lot of material,
you start